Hey, what's up? Thanks for hopping in the car with Christian Addiction Recovery, the channel where I try to teach you how I started living this fantastic existence that I now call my life. Because I believe anybody can find this life if they put in the work. I've already helped a couple of people transform their life as well, and I plan on helping a whole bunch more. So why don't you be one of those people? So before I get going, why don't you go ahead and subscribe real quick so that you don't miss any of this information on how to transform your life? And go ahead and smash the like for me one time. All right, so text messages. You're like, text messages? How's that transform your life? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Stop putting expectation on text messages. Have you ever thought something in your head and you texted someone and you expected them to answer a certain way and they just texted sure or okay, and you're like, what does that mean? Well, that's because you put way too much expectation on what that text message was supposed to say, and we don't need to do that. We can get ourselves in a lot of trouble. You're going to make a relationship have a lot of heartache that it doesn't need to have. As I call it, you're going to salt your relationship, get it all salty. And it's just a real small way that you can start recognizing where you put expectation in your life, because we've all done this and we all do this. And there's some of us that do it a little bit more often than others. You know what I'm talking about. But when we put expectation on something, it's often different than what the reality plays out as. So it creates disappointment in our life. I heard it said real nicely that expectation is just premeditated resentment. And expectations have gone crazy these days, especially with social media. Like, say when you're looking for a place to go on vacation, you're going to pick from what you think is going to be the best vacation. And oftentimes when we're planning out this vacation in our head, we're setting up these expectations. You may even be on social media looking at other people that went to, say, Hawaii, and you just look at that. They're just having such a great time. And then when you get there, you have a good time. But if you've set up an expectation for it to be something, unrealistic, then even just the reality of being in Hawaii is going to let you down. Okay, Hawaii might have been a bad choice because, it really does meet the expectations. It's awesome. Go check it out. But expectations alter experience. I wrote this in a blog that I wrote a couple weeks ago, and go check out my blog. It's good info. Maybe share it around a little bit for those that don't like watching videos. But I was talking about, say you're throwing a party and you invite 10 people to this party, and you're expecting 10 people to show up. You even look online and order a game that it's like a really cool game, but it requires 10 people to play it, and you've just been excited all week, and then only 5 people show up to the party. Well, if you've created all this expectation in your head about how great this game is going to be and how, you've got all these ideas, then when only 5 people show up, you're going to just spend the whole night of your party disappointed. Now, transversely, if you invite 10 people and you really don't expect anybody to come, you just say, well, hey, I'm going to have a good time even if I'm by myself. I hope somebody shows up, but I'm just going to have a good time because I'm throwing the party. I'm going to play the music I like or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then 5 people show up, then you're going to enjoy that night so much more than you could in the other scenario. And so the only thing that's different in those two scenarios is your expectation of how many people were going to show up. I never really had anybody teach me about expectations in this light when I was growing up, and I'm not sure if it would have changed anything. But I used to place all kinds of expectations on myself to do certain things. But a huge one that always got me in trouble was putting expectations on my significant other on what they should do for me. I was very codependent, and so I had a lot of expectations on my partner to fill a lot of the void that was in my life. But anyway, I didn't want to bring that expectation that I put on other people and myself into this new relationship that I was starting because I was going to do things the right way this time, since I actually had the knowledge. And so for a long time, I called my girlfriend out if she put any kind of expectation on me. And I called it out. I said, hey, look, you're not going to put an expectation on me because you're just going to be disappointed. And I don't want you to be let down for ordinary things like not answering the text message the right way. And I don't know, there's just something about the text messaging between a guy and a girl. Somehow, inevitably, and it may not happen very often, but something's going to be misunderstood and someone's going to be hurt for no reason. And like I said, you're just going to be salting your whole relationship. So what I recommend is only say short things on text messages and have this talk with your girlfriend or your boyfriend and say, hey, look, when we do text messages, we're not going to put any kind of emotion into it. The only kind of emotion that can go into a text message is happy or joy. And other than that, if you're upset about anything or you're feeling sad or you're feeling down, call me. Let's do a call or a face-to-face interaction, because so much gets lost in text messages. And I've said for a while that I really think that the enemy uses social media and technology to destroy relationships between others and the church, and also between a man and a woman. And it's really hard if you get on social media to not get these unrealistic expectations. But for me, I just had to get off of social media because I was getting a false sense of reality. And I wasn't even on it that much, really. You know, I know some people are on it 10, 12 hours a day. That's crazy. So set a boundary for yourself. If social media is bringing unrealistic expectation and unnecessary attachment in your life to the wrong things, then put a boundary for yourself to not get on it, you know, or at least maybe take a week off or something. Get rid of as many expectations in your life as you can and just see what happens for a little bit. I guarantee you, you're going to experience a lot more joy and contentment right where you're at. It's going to help with acceptance. It's going to help with the attachment aspect, and it's just going to help in every aspect of your life. So I really suggest try it for a week. Now, obviously, if you're a boss, you have to expect your employees to behave a certain way, but what you got to do is just mentally prepare yourself for when they don't show up for work or they don't behave a certain way. How are you going to handle it? And that's a good time to analyze. Do you have unrealistic expectations of your employees? I know I always did. My employees were fantastic. They always have been. What's up, guys? But they would do a good job, and I would give them a lot of praise, and I would bonus them, and I would take care of them. But I would always expect something too much. There was always something that they didn't do, even though they did all this other stuff. And, you know, they never let me down, but I still put all these expectations on them. And last year, I toned down all my expectations because that's what I'm working on in life. And I was just so much happier the whole season. Expectation just prepares us to get into those old neural pathways. It's really hard for us to behold the new thing that God is doing if we're expecting life to go a certain way, or just everything every day. Just be open to it. Just be accepting where you're at. Because it's when we can accept life the way it is and have faith in God that we really start to find true contentment. Because there's always two things that we can expect: that God is going to get us to the end of our life, whenever that may be. And another thing is that we can expect God to be faithful. It's just foolish to expect to think how God is going to be faithful. We send God our prayers. We don't send him an instruction manual on how to help us. Well, or at least we shouldn't. If you're doing that, stop doing that. You can't expect life to go the way that you think it will go. You got to remember that God is raising up his children, and he's not raising us to be spoiled brats. He's raising us to be men and women of integrity, of character. And we all know in the Bible, or if you don't know, you should know, that it says, Rejoice in our persecutions, because through the persecution creates perseverance, and through perseverance creates character. So God is going to put obstacles in our life, challenges for us. They're to teach us, they're to grow us, and they're to give us confidence when we overcome that obstacle or that challenge. So, hey guys, I hope I shined a new light on expectations for you. We all do them, it's inevitable, but a lot of us put unrealistic expectations on the people that are close to us. And again, salt our relationships. Let's stop doing that. Let's be aware of what's going on and let's dial back our expectation. Hey, comment below, no expectations. That way I know you made it till the end of the video. And I know you're going to work on expectations in your life. Hey, if you haven't yet, go ahead and smash the like button for me. Just smash it. And subscribe. That way you can catch all this valuable information and you don't miss a thing. No, I'm just joking. But really, we're going to grow together on this channel. We're going to get better together. And we're going to share the things that work. So let us know. The way I do it over here is I make the videos. I do the editing. There's a lot that goes into it, y'all. And you just give me those little clicks. All right. See you next time. Peace.